Philippine legal and judicial system. The Philippine legal and judicial system stands as a robust institutional framework defined by a precise hierarchy of courts and specialized mandates of jurisdiction, rooted in centuries of legal assimilation and contemporary constitutional principles. Shaped predominantly by Spanish and American influences, the judiciary's modern structure is fundamentally dedicated to settling disputes and serving as a guardian against governmental overreach. This structure, encompassing the four-tiered integrated court system and various specialized tribunals, clarifies the avenues for justice and assigns specific adjudicatory and review functions across its levels. The legal basis of the Philippine judicial system is anchored in the Constitution, which vests judicial power in the Supreme Court and in such lower courts as may be established by law. This judicial power involves the duty of the courts to settle actual controversies involving legally demandable and enforceable rights. Crucially, the 1987 Constitution grants an expanded power of judicial review, empowering the courts to determine whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excessive jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. This provision solidifies the judiciary's role in providing a check on the executive and legislative branches. Even during the period of American sovereignty, the power of judicial review was recognized as constitutional law binding on the territorial government. The Supreme Court, in particular, is the ultimate authority responsible for interpreting and applying the terms of the Constitution, which is considered the supreme law. To uphold order and efficiency, the Supreme Court maintains a policy of strict observance of the hierarchical organization of courts. Direct resort to the Supreme Court is maintained only when the redress desired cannot be obtained in the appropriate lower courts or in exceptional circumstances. The Philippine judiciary is generally recognized as an integrated system composed of four tiers, designed to manage case flow through defined layers of trial and appellate review. The Supreme Court is the highest tribunal in the country, composed of one Chief Justice and 14 Associate Justices. The Supreme Court may sit en banc or, at its discretion, in divisions of 3, 5, or 7 members. The Supreme Court exercises both original and appellate jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction, it handles cases directly filed with it in the first instance, including those affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, as well as petitions for writs such as certiorari, prohibition, mandamus, quo warranto, and habeas corpus. It also has original jurisdiction over the special writs of amparo, habeas data, and the environmental writ of kalikasan. Appellate jurisdiction, the Supreme Court reviews, reverses, modifies, or affirms final judgments and orders of lower courts. Cases appealable to the Supreme Court include those where the constitutionality or validity of any treaty, law, or executive regulation is in question. Cases involving the legality of any tax or impost. Cases where the jurisdiction of any lower court is an issue. Criminal cases where the penalty imposed is reclusion perpetua or higher. And all cases where only an error or question of law is involved. The Supreme Court also exercises administrative supervision over all lower courts and their personnel. The Court of Appeals is considered the second highest tribunal in the country. It is composed of a presiding justice and 68 associate justices. The Court of Appeals jurisdiction also includes both original and appellate jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction. It can issue writs of mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, habeas corpus, quo warranto, and auxiliary rights. It also holds exclusive original jurisdiction over actions for annulment of judgments rendered by regional trial courts. Appellate jurisdiction. The Court of Appeals has exclusive appellate jurisdiction to review final judgments, resolutions, orders, or awards of regional trial courts and quasi-judicial agencies, provided these cases do not fall within the direct appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. The CA is also vested with the power to conduct hearings and receive evidence to resolve factual issues raised in cases under its jurisdiction. Regional trial courts are classified as second-level courts and are established in the 13 judicial regions of the Philippines. Regional trial courts exercise exclusive original jurisdiction over serious civil matters, such as those concerning title to or possession of real estate, exceeding a certain monetary amount, actions involving the contract of marriage and marital relations, and criminal cases involving crimes punishable by more than 6 years' imprisonment. The regional trial courts also function as the first level of appeal for cases decided by the courts below them. First-level courts comprise the lowest tier of the integrated system and include metropolitan trial courts, municipal trial courts in cities, municipal trial courts, and municipal circuit trial courts. Their original jurisdiction covers minor civil cases, local government ordinance violations, and criminal offenses, with a maximum sentence not exceeding 6 years' imprisonment. Beyond the integrated 4-tiered structure, the Philippine judicial system includes specialized courts that handle specific types of cases. The Sandigan is the anti-graft court, established to try and decide criminal and civil cases involving graft and corrupt practices committed by public officers and employees in relation to their office. Its jurisdiction is determined by both the nature of the offense and the salary grade of the public official involved. The Sandigan is a collegiate court elevated to the same level as the Court of Appeals, and its decisions can be appealed directly to the Supreme Court. The Court of Tax Appeals is a specialized collegiate court, equal in rank to the Court of Appeals. Its jurisdiction involves the adjudication of appeals related to internal revenue tax and customs cases. The Court of Tax Appeals sits en banc or in 3 divisions of 3 justices each. Sharia district courts and Sharia circuit courts were established in Islamic regions and provinces. These courts interpret and apply the Code of Muslim Personal Laws, handling specific issues of Islamic law, primarily those related to family matters. Sharia district courts are at the same level as regional trial courts, while Sharia circuit courts are at the same level as municipal circuit trial courts. The Supreme Court is tasked with sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal acts as the sole judge of all contests relating to the election, returns, and qualifications of the President and the Vice President of the Philippines. The Supreme Court is tasked with sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal. The Presidential Electoral Tribunal acts as the sole judge of all contests relating to the election, returns, and qualifications of the President and the Vice President of the Philippines.